Hey, happy weekend, everybody. Bob from Trade Genius, and I just going to show you one chart for the moment because it really sets up my favorite trade, and that's trading VXX puts, and just these are very profitable trades if you know how to catch them. And so this week was pretty volatile, but it was also a profitable week for actually selling volatility and buying VXX puts. And I just want to kind of just show you here. So the week started here on the 12th, and you already had a sense for it on the 9th that the trade from last week was kind of winding down. We had a change right away Friday in the the trend, and also we had some buy signals from us, and these are signals that the money maker's been out. That's the one, the triangle. This is a new signal that basically is replacing some of the momentum lines down here below, but we've given ourselves a really cool mechanism in which we can manage these trades for our subscribers, but also for our subscribers to manage these trades for themselves. And if you go into the settings here, you can go into the swing trader. This is what it's called, and you have the capability to set your parameters here. So you could set an oversold and overbought range. So if it falls outside that range, you don't get these signals. You could change your look back of how many bars you want to look back to incorporate in that. Okay, you can manage the deviation levels between the on the channel, and that also affects this this trigger line here. And so and this trigger line then tells you, and I'll show you that in a second, tells you if a lot of chop is happening. This is kind of like your chop avoidance indicator. And then here is just a simple stochastic that we then smooth it, and then we run a moving average against it, and then you run a signal against that. And it just gives you some really powerful tools to manage momentum. And so really, really interesting. And then you can go in there and you can change it. And I'm just going to show you the plot here real quick so you can see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to zoom out real fast just so you can kind of get a sense for this. So here's if you look here, this is the fixed channel, okay? This is the dynamic channel. And when I was talking about the ability to then look for trades inside or outside of the dynamic channel, this is where you set the standard deviations, and then you can set the parameters for seeing the trades. So you could say how many bars inside or outside that you don't want to see an indicator hitting. So it gives you this really powerful tool to keep you from getting chopped up. You could say to yourself, I'm only ever interested in things that really fall outside the band. And then what you can do from that is that then you can go, and let me turn this off because it's too busy here for the video, is you can go ahead and set an alert against it. So you just go to here, add an alert for the VIX, and then you can actually then say when the moneymaker crosses or when the swing trader hits, you can get a buy alert or a sell alert, and from there you can, depending on what level of service you have with TradingView, you can they give you options to open end it, notify on an app, show the pop up right here, send an email, and so it gives you ways in which you can just watch trades. So you can set your top trades. So you can set wide bands on these alerts in terms of I only want to see stuff that's really pushed down or pushed up, and then that way you can take advantage of some really high profitable trades. So these are tools that we developed. This one is going to be available September 1st. We're still tweaking a few things on it to basically to try to make it as the highest level of automation you can without it becoming counterproductive. So we think we got it pretty close. There's some things you just have to think when you do it. You just can't make it perfection. And one of the things that we did was we laid in this heat map on top of it, and this will also be available in September. And so if you get a trade signal like here we got for the volatility index, trade signal hit, trend change changing, okay, you're going to be taking this, into consideration in this bar here. Okay, so when we trade volatility, there's two ways you could play it, right? If it's on a rise, you can go ahead and you can do TVX, okay. Whoops, sorry. You could do TVIX, or if it's coming down, you can do VXX puts. Your way to play it. So this week kind of gave us a little bit of everything. So we're down there on the coming in on 12th. So Monday was just a volatility up day, and then going into the open on Tuesday, and we caught this trade, is that right away it opened up. We got a change in channel, and VIX went down. And then if you go to VXX on the 13th, you could see that there was a beautiful opportunity for a trade. And you're talking from 29 down into 27. This is 10% move. You put $1,000 on that trade, you're going to be returned 300-400, easy peasy. Okay, and then we went back to the VIX again, and when it's volatile like this, you start seeing, I call this basically army trading. Left right left right left right. So boom, that went down, and then right away at the end here it started curling. But first thing on Wednesday here, you had a buy already. So if you're short with put, you want to close that trade, or you have a different kind of hedge on, you let it run up, and then but in the middle of the day on Thursday we started to see it relenting, okay, and then here's VXX, and so on the 15th, we're getting a signal. The VIX has already given us a signal that it's coming down, and you buy puts, and then that trade would have beautifully paid you. It was $30 here, closed at 28. Again, you're talking a 2-point move, and depending on how you structure your option trade, whether you're in the money, out of the money, depending on what percent return you have. But it was a nice trade. It was a nice trade for me. I had 15 contracts on. I think I'll have to take a peek, but anyway, I was anywhere between $350 and $380 profit. And this trade is going out to next Friday, so it's a good tool, good trade. It's a good way to make a lot of money, and then you just have to be careful on how you hedge it and how long you stay in the trade. But these tools help you do that. So I always look at the VIX, see what the VIX is doing, to determine how I want to look at the VXX. And when I look at VXX only, I'll start out here on a 4-hour, and I start looking for opportunities with that. And so it just gives you some good settings. And this thing, you're going to get a trade on this stuff just about every week. And this is the toughest month to trade volatility short, because the nature of the beast of this particular ETF is that it's looking out 1 and 2 months and taking averages, and that determines if they're buyers or sellers of volatility. And that's why it's been so choppy up here, okay? Because it's not clean, because it's not smooth. And what I mean by that, here's the VIX 3 months out. Okay, it's kind of close to the price of VIX. In fact, it's higher than the current VIX. That's called backwardation. So it makes it harder for it to make an easy trade. When this relents, you'll see the VIX, or you'll see VXX go from 28 down to 22 in like a heartbeat. So you always have to pay attention to these things. And I'm always in these trades. This is just good money for me, and it's a good habit for you to get into. And we give you tools how to do it. And then if you're a subscriber, I'm always talking about these trades in the room. And if you want to make trading a business, here's a good way for you to earn income that becomes meaningful over time. So anyway, I want to share that with you. Looking at the markets, coming out of this OPEX, see what happens next week. And usually it's a quiet week, but the world is anything but quiet right now. And so I held on to my VXX puts. I'm not expecting too much action because people are going to be holding their breath for Jackson Hole and the Fed and see what their mindset is going into September. And I think after the last week in August to the next Fed meeting, I think it's going to be extremely volatile. And therefore, we haven't been putting on too many trades. It's just crazy. You're just going to get chopped. And so we're taking some shots, keeping our stops tight. And if we can catch a move and make a couple percent in a day or two, then we may have to be satisfied with that until we get a sense of trend. But anyway, thanks for listening. Check us out, tradelikeagenius.com. Get these indicators from us. These two will be available in August. The Moneymaker's already available. And, learn how to trade and let the visual representation of momentum and trend, and this is money flow of really the bid ask, really help you make money trading, and then work with us and we'll get you on the right path. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.